Hey everybody, I'm Joe Killinger. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and we put these videos together every week to give you all the tips and insights from my experience over the last several years. So make sure you tune in and subscribe, and thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Everything that we're going through with the economy right now, we're always looking for new ways to really, a path that we're going to be going down. So I asked my friend Natalie, who's on screen here. Natalie, you can say hello to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Natalie is very unique in what she does. She really can help entrepreneurs figure out a path that they can go. I really think that entrepreneurship is the way we're going to really get this economy growing again. And, the more insight we have on what we can be doing, the best paths to take to get us there as quick as possible, I would ask Natalie to come on and talk about it. But Natalie, you want to give us a little bit of your background?
Sure. So I am an educator, I would call myself. I have a for-profit and a 501c3 foundation, and what we do is we give scholarships to leaders, business owners, politicians, so that they can go ahead and grow and scale a business. And the main goal is that they build a business that is purposeful for them, so meaning that it has a major positive impact in the world. So that's really who we're looking for. We help entrepreneurs do what they love and solve a major business or personal problem.
Okay. Now, at the end of this video, we will put Natalie's contact information so you can reach out to her, or you can reach out to me and I'll put you in direct contact with her. So Natalie, we were talking a little bit before we started recording we just have a lot going on in this world right now, and a lot of it's not good, but I'm a firm believer in entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurs, they find the right path, can really help us turn this thing around fairly quickly. I think we can all agree now it's not going to be a V-shaped recovery. I think entrepreneurs need to come charging in and really figure out how we're going to do it. And so why don't you give us, kind of walk us through how you see an entrepreneur being able to come in and really get started, because I see it also as a good time for entrepreneurs to be starting right now. But how they can get started and what path they could possibly be looking at taking.
So I think that first we should take a step back and think of the situation. Very short time today, we're like towards the end of the COVID, which is finally getting in control. There's still, a lot to be done, etc. But what we need to prepare for is what's coming after the COVID. And it's truly what it is instability, and mainly economical instability, in addition to political instability, social riots, etc. So with that, a lot of people are going to be left without a job, possibly without unemployment help. So at some point, the unemployment help may stop. And so I do believe that this is, a way for entrepreneurship to finally take the position that it deserves. So a lot of people are going to try to think, well, how can I create, a business that I'm proud of, that is sustainable, and that allows me to make a revenue under any economy, any market, right? Whether there is a crisis or everything is going fantastic. We do know that there's going to be less and less, jobs out there. So we're going to be in need of more entrepreneurs. We also know that all economies, 90% of them, the fuel to the economy is the startup. And we do know as well that 90% of those startups fail, right? But they do represent, the fuel of the economy. 80 or 90% of the economy comes from startups or micro or small size companies. So I do think it's a great timing for entrepreneurship. Now, you have to really come with the right mindset, the right, supporting group, the right, I would say, strategies in order to succeed, because chances are that your first venture may not succeed.
Yeah, you really, and you better be passionate about it when you're coming into this, and it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take time, so you need to make sure that there's plenty money, plenty patience, and if you're building a team, you better build a team that's ready to go the long haul with you. And do you have any tips on how to build a really great team?
Yeah, so I think that first you have to understand what you stand for, right? So if you know you stand for, you have to solve a problem that is important for the market today. So maybe today there's going to be more attention to the environment, to online education, to ethical business, to agriculture, to sustainable housing, in real estate, etc. So you have to understand the market. And then I would say that your team has to be aligned with your values or what you stand for. So if you're building a team, it's very easy to build a team, but it's very difficult to sustain the right team because they're in it for different reasons, and you have to make sure that they're in it in alignment for what you stand for as a business owner. So you may want to, take more time understanding what your teammate is looking for, their values, what they stand for, if they believe in your cause, and really spend time doing that work, because the resume may be great, their skill sets may be great, but they also need to be in alignment with what you stand for. So I would say look at both things, the technical side of the person, but also the intangible side of the candidate. Are they good on paper, and do they feel like the right candidate to you in your heart? Not just on paper, in your heart.
Right. Yeah, we see that. We have a commercial brokerage company, and we interview a good number of agents before we actually extend an offer. And it's really, you really have to, and I've learned that because these are all entrepreneurs that are in commercial brokerage. You've really got to take your time and pick the right people. Otherwise, you're just constantly replacing them and retraining and, across the board. It's very, very difficult. So it's very key to build that. You take your time building the right team around you. It'll make your life a lot easier. And if you're somebody that's trying to do everything yourself, it's going to kill you. You've got to find people that can do what you are not great at. So now, as far as what do you see as far as, let's say if I'm a new startup right now, funding. When you're going out and getting funding, do you work with a lot of companies that do VC funding?
So some of them do joint venture funding. Some of them, for me, I always try to make them understand that they have to be the first investors to some extent.
Right.
So the first questions they're going to ask them is, how much money have you already invested in your business? How much equity is left? How much money is left of what you've invested, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, it's great to find joint ventures. It's great to find, loans. It's great to get support, a grant, anything that you may try to find or, access to credit, right? But the truth is that you have to go with the mindset that you are going to be the first and main investor in your company.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because most of the time we try to do the opposite, right? I have a great idea, I just don't have the money.
Right.
And it's good to grow with external investment, but then you're going to have to understand, well, what are you going to give up? Are you giving up equity? How much equity are you going to give up? Because it may, you may build the biggest company on earth like Apple, and then suddenly your board of directors is going to side away from you, and then you're going to be, you're going to be out of a job like Steve Jobs. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
You know, then you can ask yourself that question. So I think
Sure.
that you have to have a balance of how much investment you can get externally. It's the first question they always ask. Always
Yeah.
they want to find where is the money, where are the investors. You can partner with investors, you can do joint ventures, you can do many things, but at the end of the day, you have to come with a mindset that you are going to be the primary investor in your company, and you have to be willing to do that. So you have to invest in your company to some extent.
Yeah. It's great to have an idea, but to make it really work, there has to be execution. You've got to execute it, show that it can be done, and you are going to have to put your own money in. There's nothing worse. I've sat in a couple meetings with a VC where somebody came in and pitched, and the idea person came in and they no money into it. They had the idea, they had a basic working model of it, but no real. I mean, they were really hoping for sweat equity, and that's just not going to be enough. Are you finding that? Where is the investment in, and maybe you don't know this currently, but as far as investors looking for investment in startups, is that pretty strong right now, or are they kind of taking a step back at this time?
So I actually think that a crisis moment like today is actually, in my opinion, a moment of opportunity. But you have to play it the right way. To me, it's a game, right? Life is a game. So we tend to think that during crisis, investors are going to take a step back, but it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Investors that have money are going to be looking for opportunities because they know it's the moment to buy. It's not the moment to sell, it's the moment to buy. So today, it may be that things are still expensive as of today, right now, but maybe in a month, 2 or 3 months, when the crisis hits, then there's going to be a lot of need of loans, investors, even people selling houses, or large opportunities in commercial real estate, or even individual real estate. It doesn't matter. So those investors that have money, that have been saving for this crisis moment, they're going to be the ones buying everything they can. They're going to be buying houses, commercial real estate, businesses, stock, you name it. So in my opinion, there's going to be a lot more opportunity. So you have to pay attention to who is mainly going to be interested in your idea, to participate in it, and who is going to have the funds to get on board, and what is an attractive offer for them so that they get on board. So in my opinion, it is an excellent moment.
I agree. I really think let's say if you're going to have want a retail location, I think in the next couple months, there's going to be a lot of mid-block retail that is empty, and there's going to be a landlord or property owner that's sitting there going, my God, what am I ever going to do at this space? And you come in and say, listen, I will do a short-term lease with you, 1 year, 2 years, 3. It's going to create a lot of opportunity for startups to really jump in and get going. I'm a firm believer in that right now, just like you are. Now, are you talking to a lot of startups right now?
So yes,
and
I do have a lot of interest these days because it's, again, something that is growing because of the situation. People are, maybe losing their job and trying to identify, well, what am I going to be doing? Or the whole COVID is making them think, if tomorrow I die, I want to make sure I get this done. I never had the time or the courage to get this done, and I'm like a little bit more enthusiastic today. So yes, I think the world is changing and entrepreneurship is going to be growing. So yeah, there's more demand. There's a lot more demand for what I'm doing today, thankfully. Yes.
Yeah, we've got a couple of our agents are working with tech companies, 2 in Silicon Beach, and a few downtown LA. And everybody's saying, oh, there's going to be so much office space available. And one of those companies is probably not going to make it, and that is, it was a great idea, it's just the leadership in that company wasn't great. But the rest of them are actually they're expanding their companies. They're taking on more square footage. And our agents were calling them to say, listen, are you guys going to downsize? What's your plan? They go, well, we've got the opportunity to add more. We would like to, our desks, they built the desks out where kind of like we work, everybody sitting side by side. Well, now they have to have at least 6 feet in between, so they need more space. So we're seeing a lot of that, which is shocking to me. A month ago, I said, now a lot of them will probably just be gone, but they've got the right team in place, they've got the right leadership in place, they've got the right funding behind them, and they're taking on that opportunity. So, because they're going to their landlord saying, listen, you've got some vacancy over here, we'll give you a little less for the rent, and, because we want to grow our company in your building. Instead of leaving, we're going to stay here, but we're going to pay a little bit less. It's working beautifully. So, and that's just good leadership being creative. I really love that. But, all right, well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're down in sunny areas and having a good time, and I thank you for taking the time and coming on and talking to us today, Nathalie.
And one last thing, I like to add what you're saying. So it's an opportunity for businesses. So what you have to do is rethink your market. There are going to be, of course, a strong system. All systems are going to change. Education, financial, real estate, you name it. So what you have to understand is what is the future going to look for. So maybe in real estate is sustainable housing, right? Maybe in food industry is agriculture, right? That's not going to go away. We still need to eat. We still need housing. We just need it more sustainable. Education maybe is going to, transfer to more of an online or a hybrid type of education, right? It's not going to be face-to-face. So you just have to look at your industry and try to understand how can you refocus your industry towards what's going to come next. What is the post-COVID situation going to be forcing, systems to become, in the future new, because it's not that they're going to go away. They're not going to be like before either. They're going to change. And so what's that change going to look like?
Yeah. One thing that I've really learned through this is shut the TV off. Get out and talk to people. Go talk to people and hear what's really going on. And so, that's, I think, is something key that our team has really taken away from this is when you get out and start talking to the people that are actually doing in the middle of it all, you're getting the real answer. So, but all right, well, Nathalie, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you come on. I hope we can do this again soon, and we'll put all of your information down below so everybody can reach out to you, and hopefully somebody will. So, thank you. And as viewers, thank you for checking in this week. If you haven't, please do subscribe because we put these out every week. Thank you.